When the inspector shows up, there's this automatic tension, right? You're thinking, this person is here to find problems with my work. But here's what I want you to understand. I'm gonna break down the 5 biggest code inspection mistakes that are costing builders serious money right now. If you stick around, you're gonna learn exactly how to avoid these mistakes and pass your inspections on the first try. Hi, my name is Terry Thayer. I'm a licensed general contractor here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I've been in the construction business my entire life. Over the past decade, I've helped hundreds of builders transform their operations from chaotic, cash-draining messes to efficient, profitable businesses. But here's what I want you to understand. The inspector is not your enemy. They're actually on your team. Think about it this way. The inspector's job is to make sure that the home you're building is safe, up to code, and not gonna fall apart in 5 years. They're protecting you, the homeowner, and honestly, your reputation as a builder. Here's what I see all of the time. A builder gets defensive when an inspector points something out. They start arguing, they get an attitude, and suddenly what could have been a simple fix becomes this whole adversarial thing. And guess what happens? That inspector is gonna look at the project with a fine-tooth comb from that point forward. Here's what you should do instead. Build a relationship with your inspector. I'm serious. When they show up, greet them professionally. Ask them questions. Hey, I noticed you checking the framing really carefully. Are there common issues that you're seeing around here that I should be aware of? Most inspectors actually want to help you. They've seen it all, and if you approach them with respect and genuine desire to learn, they'll often give you the insights that can save you time and money on future projects. I had a student who was terrified of inspections. Every time an inspector showed up, he'd get this knot in his stomach. I told him, look, change your mindset. This person is giving you free education every time. He started asking questions, taking notes, and do you know what happened? He started passing inspections on the first try, and he actually built a rapport with a few inspectors who would give him a heads up about new code changes before they went into effect. So mistake number 1, stop treating your inspector like the enemy and start treating them like a valuable resource. I've created a free guide that walks you through exactly how to ace your next code inspection. It's got checklists, timelines, and everything that you need to stay on track. Click the link in the description below and grab it now. It's completely free and it's gonna save you a ton of headaches down the road. All right, this one is critical. And it's something that trips up even experienced builders. Here's the thing, building codes are not static. They change. Sometimes they change annually, sometimes more frequently. If you're not staying on top of these updates, you're basically building a foundation of outdated information. I see this happen all the time. A builder has been doing things a certain way for years, and it's always past inspection. Then suddenly, boom, they fail an inspection because the code changed 6 months ago and they had no idea. Let me give you a real example. A few years back, there was an update to energy efficiency requirements in our area. Insulation R values changed, window specifications changed, and all sorts of stuff. Builders who weren't paying attention ended up having to rip out work and redo it, which cost them thousands of dollars and weeks of delays. Here's what you need to be doing. First, make it a habit to check for code updates regularly. I'm talking at least yearly. Your local building department usually publishes updates on their website, or you could sign up for email notifications. Second, it's gonna sound simple, but it's gold. Talk to your inspector. Ask them, have you seen any recent changes I should know about? Most of the time, they'll tell you exactly what's new and what they're looking for. Join your local home builder association or online communities where code changes get discussed. You'll be surprised at how much you can learn just by being a part of these conversations. And here's a pro tip. When there's a code update, don't just read it once and move on. Print it out, highlight the key changes, and keep it in your truck. I'm serious. Keep it where you can reference it easily because you're gonna forget these details. And that's when mistakes happen. Look, I know reading code books isn't exactly thrilling. It's not like you're gonna sit down with a beer and flip through the IRC for fun. But the cost of knowing this stuff is way higher than the time it takes to stay informed. So mistake number 2, not staying current with your local code updates. Don't let this be the reason you fail an inspection. Hey, real quick, if you're finding value in this, do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps other builders like you find these videos. Okay, let's talk paperwork. I know. Nobody gets into building because they love filling out forms. But here's the reality. Incomplete or incorrect documentation is one of the fastest ways to fail an inspection, and it's completely preventable. Here's what happens. You show up to the inspection and the inspector asks for your permit, your plans, and the engineer's stamp, whatever. And you either don't have it or you have some version of it that's missing key information. The inspector can't approve the work without the proper documentation, so you fail the inspection right there on the spot, even if the physical work is perfect. I've seen this happen more times than I can count. A builder does beautiful work, framing is solid, plumbing is clean, everything looks great, but they're missing a stamped set of approved plans from the city, and boom, failed inspection. Now, they've got to reschedule and deal with all the delays that come with it. Here's how to avoid this. First, create a checklist for every type of inspection you're going to have. Before the inspector shows up, go through that checklist and make sure you have every single document you need. Plans, permits, engineering reports, manufacturer specs, whatever it is, have it ready. Second, have everything organized. I use a binder system with every project, and it has its own binder with dividers for different types of documents. Some guys use digital folders on their phone or tablet. Whatever system works for you, just have one. Don't be the guy scrambling through the truck looking for a piece of paper while the inspector's standing there waiting. Third, and this is important, double check that all your documentation is complete and accurate. Make sure signatures are in place, dates are filled in, and everything matches with the actual work being done. If your plans say one thing and the work looks different, that's a red flag for inspectors. Here's a real story. I had a builder who was doing a foundation inspection, and the inspector asked for the soil report. The builder handed over the report, but it was for a different property. He grabbed the wrong one by mistake. The inspector caught it immediately, failed the inspection, and the builder had to reschedule. That mistake cost him a week of delays because the next available inspection slot was backed up. Look, I get it, the paperwork is a pain, but it's part of the job. And if you treat it with the same attention and detail you treat your physical work, you're gonna save yourself a ton of frustration. So mistake number 3, incomplete or sloppy documentation. Get your paperwork dialed in before the inspector shows up. All right, this one is huge, and it's probably the easiest fix out of all of these. So many builders schedule the inspection without doing their own walkthrough first. They just assume everything is good to go, call the inspector, and then cross their fingers. And you know what? That's a recipe for failing inspections. Here's the thing. You need to be your own inspector before the actual inspector shows up. Walk the site yourself. Go through every detail and look at anything that might be an issue. Pretend you're the inspector. What would you flag? What doesn't look quite right? I'm telling you, this is simple. Doing a pre-inspection walkthrough has saved my students thousands of dollars and countless headaches. Let me give you an example. One of my students was about to call a framing inspection in. I told him, before you call, walk the site yourself, bring your code book if you need to, and check everything. He did, and guess what he found? A couple of missing hurricane straps and some blocking that wasn't quite right. He fixed those issues before the inspector even showed up and passed the inspection on the first try. And if he hadn't done that walkthrough, he would have failed, had to reschedule, and lost at least a week. Here's how to do this effectively. First, schedule your walkthrough at least a day or two before the official inspection. Don't do it the morning of. You need time to fix anything you find. Second, bring your plans and the code book. Compare what's built to what's on paper. Look for discrepancies. Check measurements, check materials, check installation methods. Third, take photos of everything. This serves two purposes. One, it helps you remember what you saw, and two, if there's ever a question later, you have documentation. Fourth, if you find something that's not quite right, fix it before the inspector comes. It's way easier to fix stuff when you're not under the pressure of an inspector standing there watching you. And here's a bonus tip. Get your subs to do their own walkthroughs too. Have your framer walk through their work before you walk it. Same with the electricians, the plumbers, and everybody else. Build a culture where everyone is doing quality checks before the official inspection. I can't stress this enough. The pre-inspection walkthrough is your insurance policy. It's how you catch mistakes before they become expensive problems. So mistake number 4, skipping the pre-inspection walkthrough. Don't make this mistake. Walk your site before the inspector does. All right, last one, and this might surprise you, but it's a big deal. A lot of builders focus so much on the technical aspects of a build, making sure that the framing's right, plumbing is correct, electrical is up to code, and they forget about 2 critical things: safety and cleanliness. And here's what you need to understand. Inspectors absolutely care about this stuff. If your site is a mess, if there's safety hazards everywhere, if it looks like a disaster zone, that inspector is going to have a very different attitude about your work. Think about it from their perspective. They walk onto a site and there's trash everywhere. Tools scattered all over the place. No clear walkways. Extension cords running through puddles of water. What does that tell them? It tells them that you're not paying attention to the details. And if you're not paying attention to safety and cleanliness, what else are you not paying attention to? I've seen inspectors fail projects purely because of safety violations, even when the actual building work was fine. Handrails missing from stairs, no fall protection on a second story, debris blocking exits. These are all things that can get you shut down immediately. And here's what you need to do. First, make site cleanliness a safety, non-negotiable standard on every single project. I'm talking about daily cleanup. At the end of every workday, sweep up, organize tools, clear walkways. It doesn't take long. It makes a massive difference. Second, have proper safety equipment on site at all times. Hard hats, safety glasses, first aid kits, fire extinguishers, all that stuff should be easily accessible. And make sure your crew is actually using it. Third, install temporary safety measures as needed. Handrails on stairs, guardrails on upper floors, proper scaffolding. Don't cut corners on this stuff. It's not just about passing an inspection, it's about protecting your crew and avoiding liability. Fourth, make sure that your site is well lit and properly ventilated, especially if you're doing interior work. Inspectors notice these things, and it shows that you're running a professional operation. And here's something a lot of builders don't think of. A clean, safe site actually helps you work more efficiently. When everything is organized, you're not tripping over debris. When tools are where they're supposed to be, you get more done in less time. So it's not just about passing inspections, it's about running a better business. I remember working on a project earlier in my career where the site was always a disaster. Tools everywhere, scraps of wood all over the place. You couldn't walk 5 feet without tripping over something. The inspector showed up, took a look around and said, "I'm not even gonna start this inspection until you clean this place up." We had to reschedule him after losing a day of cleanup. That was a wake-up call for me. From that point on, I made cleanliness and safety a priority, and it's made all the difference. So mistake number 5, ignoring safety and cleanliness standards. Keep your site clean, keep it safe, and you'll pass inspections way more smoothly. All right, so there you have it, the 5 biggest mistakes to making home builders fail code inspections. Let's do a quick recap. Mistake number 1, treating the inspector like the enemy instead of building relationships with them. Mistake number 2, not staying current with local code updates. Mistake number 3, showing up with incomplete or sloppy documentation. Mistake number 4, skipping the pre-inspection walkthrough. And mistake number 5, ignoring safety and cleanliness standards on your site. If you can avoid these 5 mistakes, you're going to pass inspections more consistently, save thousands of dollars on rework and delays, and honestly, you're going to sleep a lot better at night knowing that your projects are dialed in. Now, if you're serious about building a profitable, efficient business where you're not constantly stressed about inspections, where you're not tying up all of your own money in every project, where you actually have systems in place that work, then I want to invite you to check out my free guide. It's linked in the description below. It walks you through exactly how to prepare for inspections, what to look for, and how to avoid these costly mistakes. And if you found value in this video, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified every time I drop a new video. I'm putting out content every single week to help you become a more successful and profitable builder. Now here's the thing, Passing inspections is critical, but you know what else can absolutely destroy your profits? An unsold spec home sitting on the books. Next week, I'm dropping a video that every builder needs to watch. I'm going to break down the real cost of unsold inventory that nobody talks about, carrying costs, cash flow nightmares, and what you can actually do about it. I've helped builders cut their losses by 30% using the strategies I'm going to share. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell so you don't miss it. This could be the difference between staying profitable and drowning in holding cost. Now go out there, pass inspections on the first try.